It's acres and move makers.
It's acres and move makers.
I deal with land flippers, acres and move makers, room shakers, big boys with huge paper, the newspapers. You can run but can't escape us. We winning with these flash green when they act racist. Success is so contagious.
Let's go. It's acres and move makers.
Welcome to Acres and Move Makers. My name is Ray.
My name is Jay.
And we are
Acre Boys.
Today we want to talk to you about a very important step in land buying, and that's doing county work.
Now, listen, y'all. County work is very, very important when it comes to doing due diligence on properties, right? And I'll tell you a reason why it's specifically important. Because the person, the landowner, can actually tell you anything, right?
And will.
Yeah, and will tell you anything, right? It is up to you as a professional land investor to go ahead and cross-check everything that actual person says. Yes, we use like GIS maps and different things like that to go ahead and check flood zone, current owner on record, a lot of these different things like this. But here's the importance of actually going to the county, because what's registered at the county is what's going to stand as the law, right? No matter what you have on your GIS map or anything like that, what the county says is the actual law. There's been situations from us looking from our GIS map and looking at a property and saying, well, it doesn't look like it's in a floodplain based off of what we're seeing in that actual computer, right? But this is why you have to cross check. Go call the county and actually planning and zoning department and ask them, does this property actually fall in a flood zone? Sometimes it doesn't, but if you don't cross check, you can actually call down there and them tell you, listen, that property or half of that property falls in an actual flood zone. Very, very important for you to note, right? On top of that, ownership records, right? Something may be saying on the property card one thing, but when you call down, it might be reflecting something completely different, right? And another thing that I will go through and say is actual easements. Easements are one of those kind of things that you have to cross-check, because you might ask them and say, anybody that doesn't know what an easement is, right? An easement is just specifically actual giving you legal access to get into an actual property. That's always what an easement is. But based off of that actual easement, here's what you got to understand, right? If it's not verified on that actual deed, that means you don't have any legal access to that property. And how do you find that out? You have to call down to the county and get a copy of the deed.
So this is how important it is to do county work, right? Anytime that you're coming out of your pocket with $5,000, $10,000 or more, you should definitely have a checklist of things that need to be right. As Jay stated, the county, what they have on record, regardless of what the seller is telling you, regardless of what your GIS map is showing you,
right,
what the county has on record, regardless of what comps you found, regardless of Zillow or any other data service that you use to look at the property, verify with the county, because at the end of all the homework that you've done, if that county says it's not a buildable lot, I don't care what it looks like. It's not a buildable lot. So here's one thing, live example. Just yesterday, we were looking at a property in the well-to-do area in Connecticut. Looks good. 1.5 acres. It's inside of the city limits. It sits next to houses, house to the left of it, house to the right of it, house across the street. Now, from an initial, anybody that is inside of this industry knows that typically, if there's a house to the left, house to the right, house directly across the street, the likelihood of that being a buildable lot is very high, right? Just off of an initial glance and a very low. So we're smart enough these days. We were getting the lot for $60,000. We comped it out. The area is comping from anywhere to 120 to 150. So it would be, from a financial standpoint, excellent deal.
Excellent deal.
Who wouldn't be mad? Who would be mad at spending 60 to make 120 to 150? I'm in on those numbers all day. But we're smart enough these days to say, let's complete our homework and do all of our due diligence before we commit to the deal. I contact the county, and our GSI maps and the tools that we use, it showed that had some floodplain, it's the difference between wetlands and floodplain, first of all. And I'm assuming when we make these videos, this is for like land investors for dummies. A lot of people may not know some of these things, so I don't want to just throw these things out there. So there's a difference between floodplain and wetlands, right? So it didn't pick up on the full wetlands. I called down to the county. I wanted to verify, was this lot a buildable lot? She said, as far as the size of the lot, it does meet the requirements for it to be a buildable lot. As far as the setbacks to the lot, setbacks are going to be the guidelines of where a house would have to sit. She said it does meet those guidelines as well. She also went on to say after that, she said, I'm not sure if you want to move forward with this lot or not, because 50% of the lot falls in what we call, she had a term for it, but it fell into what they call their wetlands. And I said, wow, I don't see wetlands on my end. And she said, well, I'll walk you through. She sent me to their county site and showed me how to pull up their maps that they use that's strictly to that county. And sure enough, 50% of the property sat in wetlands. Now, that didn't disqualify this property from being a buildable lot. It didn't. But 50% of a property that's in wetlands certainly pose some challenges. Because now this is not as attractive as it would have been if it wasn't 50% wetlands on it. So she explained to me that you would need to get a wetland survey, right? Meaning that a surveyor that specializes in wetlands, he'll have to come in and do some soil tests and things of that nature. Now this is shaping up to be a whole nother situation, right? So this is the importance of doing your county work, because when I spoke to the seller, what did he tell me? Oh, yeah, I just had it in my family. I thought about doing something with it. Yeah, I got your offer. I was just waiting for you to find me and offer me $60,000. And sellers will sell you anything. It's their job to sell their property. It's your job to do your homework to make sure that you're getting a good buy.
For sure.
But when we called down to the county, they totally revealed everything that was going on with that lot and left it up to us to make a decision. We quickly opted out, because now when you start dealing with wetland surveys and certain kinds of soils and things like that, one, it's going to make your deal be a long, carried out process. For two, it's going to shrink your buyer market. And for three, it's going to shrink your margins that you thought that you were going to make. You won't be able to sell for the going rate with all of these things and hurdles that you have to overcome on that property. So if we didn't contact the county, we would have never figured out those things. And that's how important it is to do good county work.
For sure. And I think one of the last things about that is, I think he put it on the market like previously back, right? And couldn't get a number for it. But he put it on the market for like 80,000 or something like that.
He put it on the market, maybe I think 4 years ago for $80,000. We know the market has shifted, so we were getting it for 60. That 80 is now worth at least 120. So we entertained the thought of looking further into the deal. But what really revealed why he couldn't sell it even at the 80 mark a few years ago, because 50% of that property fell in that wetland zone.
Real talk. You always have to wonder and question if there's things already existingly built around the subject property that you're looking at. Why didn't they do anything with that property? Sometimes the information comes back good. Sometimes it came back bad. But clearly doing your due diligence based over the county will stop you from buying a property that in the long run is going to cost you money as an investor.
So this is some of the information and education that we specialize in putting out to you guys. If any of this made sense to you, definitely drop your thoughts in the comments and like, comment, subscribe,
all
help
of
us
that.
grow this channel. If you feel the information is worthy of that, beautiful. To the next time, invest in dirt.
It's the cleanest way to make money, y'all. Peace out. Right.